like my mental health is always in and out. I go through really, really incredible highs and then really, really debilitating lows. And I've I've never really felt a sense of stability ever throughout. I would say from my what I can remember.
So if we could talk a little bit about the symptoms that you're describing, because depression manifests differently for different people. So when you say you have the lows and the highs, do you feel like that's part of the mood destabilization, or are you talking about that just in terms of the things that you experienced in your life?
A little bit of both. I feel like in that aspect I was talking about my mood, but there's highs and lows in life too, and that's how it is for everyone. But I feel like the smallest thing can send me into a spiral that lasts weeks, months. I fall victim to the can't get out of bed. I have a tendency to withdraw from people that love and care about me and hide. And I'm really hard on myself. I'm very self-critical, and I've always been that way. But especially after starting social media and sort of being placed into the public eye, you're sort of introduced to a lot more judgment, a lot more scrutiny, a lot of things that I didn't know about myself that people told me about myself, and having that constant pressure has been something that you never really fully get used to.
And that, what you described there, I guess what we could talk about is more of the lows. What do the highs feel like?
Yeah, so I feel like happiness has been something that I've had to redefine for myself, because happiness for a lot of people is few and far between, where you really, really feel those moments of joy and everything is perfect. And in those moments for me where I feel like everything is going great, I also feel like sometimes I sort of force myself into a state of sort of false happiness, where I'm trying to convince myself that I'm happy when I'm really not. But they're usually a lot more short-lived than the moments where I'm being really down on myself and hard on myself. But those moments, sometimes I sort of fake it till I make it. I sort of force myself into these like very social, outgoing environments and convince myself that I'm happy and everything's great, and I overwork myself because I feel like I can handle it, and then the smallest thing can cause that branch to snap that I'm standing on and balancing on all of the time, and then it's right back to square one. So that's definitely the constant cycle that I struggle with, and I've sort of had to I'm starting to try to find ways where I can be okay, not necessarily overjoyed and ecstatic and loving every aspect about my life, but also not, hating myself and everything that I do.
It's interesting how you describe your relationship to sadness as compared to happiness. I think when we struggle with depression or anxiety on a regular basis, it's almost like we have a very connected, intimate understanding, as though it's a person. It's like a person we're really comfortable with, even if we don't like them. It's like we really feel like we're familiar with them. And it's kind of easier to lean into that negative mood because it's just so common and we really get it. But a lot of people who struggle with depression, they'll talk about, I don't really get happiness. I don't understand it. I don't have a feel for it. So there's an awkwardness almost that happens when we feel it. How do we understand it? How do we express it? What are people going to think about it? And it sounds like that's something that you've experienced before.